We start out with the dancer abducting both of her arms using the supraspinatus, trapezius, deltoids, and serratus anterior. She then flexes her spine and rotates to the right in the transverse plane, using her right interior and exterior obliques and her quadratus lumborum to create an upper body contraction. Her knees flex using the hamstrings, and her quadriceps engage to support the low lunge position. Her left arm adducts horizontally using her pectoralis major, latissimus dorsi, teres major, and triceps, while her right arm abducts horizontally. The first position finishes with cervical flexion using the scalene muscles and the sternocleistomastoid. She then goes on to reach with her right arm, which flexes and abducts horizontally. At the same time, her right hip slightly flexes using the pectineus, iliopsoas, sartorius, and rectus femoris, and both knees extend using her quadricep muscles. Her back extends as she goes into attitude using her rector spinae and the deep posterior spinal group, while her left leg extends and externally rotates at the hip using her deep outwards rotators, her left knee in flexion, and left foot in dorsiflexion created by the tibialis anterior. Her right leg is an extension at the knee, and her pelvis is an anterior tilt in order to get her left leg up. Her left leg is in the sagittal plane and in knee flexion using her hamstring muscles to create the attitude shape. The dancer then dives into an inversion where her arms are in flexion using her triceps and her wrists maintain extension. She uses her rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, and internal and external obliques to stabilize the inversion. She also uses her trapezius, latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, and rotator cuff muscles to support the inversion at the shoulder. Her right hip flexes while her left hip internally rotates and her feet are in plantar flexion. In this side extension, both hips are externally rotated using her deep outward rotators, hamstrings, and sartorius, while the left leg is abducted in the frontal plane using her gluteus medius and minimus, her tensor fascia latae, and her iliopsoas. The left foot is in dorsiflexion and both arms are abducted. The left hip then internally rotates using the gluteus medius, minimus, and tensor fascia lata, with the left foot in plantar flexion, while both knees are in flexion. At the same time, the arm adducts and goes through flexion, and the right knee internally rotates. The psoas assists with lifting the leg over 90 degrees. The hamstring and abdominal force couple is important here. The dancer then goes into second position plie with the hips in external rotation and the knees in flexion. The arms abduct in the frontal plane and the wrists are in extension using the posterior forearm muscles. She then laterally flexes her spine using her internal and external obliques, with her head doing a cervical rotation in the transverse plane to the right using her sternocleistomastoid. Her right arm internally rotates at the glenohumeral joint using her teres major, pectoralis major, subscapularis, latissimus dorsi, and anterior deltoid, and both elbows are flexed. Finally, both hips internally rotate to parallel, the knees flex a bit, and the spine rolls up through the sagittal plane with a quick extension at first and then flexion.